Hello everyone, welcome back to Unwind with Ben. I am Ben, and I am happy to have a great panel here today with Josh, Andy, and Snock. How are you guys doing today?
Doing real good. Thanks for having me on.
Yep.
Great. I'm doing great. How are you, Ben?
Doing well, doing well.
What a bragger. What a bragger.
Hey, I can help it, man. I'm just doing well, and I'm
hmm
having
It's
almost
the default response.
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't know this, so we just hang out. We play games. We do some entertainment news, and we just have a good time. Now today, uh, before we get started and everything, let's just go around the table. Has anybody seen any good movies lately?
I think the only real movie I've seen lately is the latest Spider-Man movie. I haven't seen a movie I've only seen, well, in the last 2 years, I've only seen one movie in a theater, and that's the James Bond movie that came out. So it was, of course, it was spoiled to all hell by the time I finally saw Spider-Man, but I was
Right.
glad I saw it. I think a lot of people loved that movie a little too much for some reason. It was fine. I don't think it was even the best Spider-Man movie in that series of Spider-Man movies, but yeah, it was still good. Uh, but yeah, that's the only time I've actually sat down to watch a movie in ages. Ever since I started doing that TV show, it just gets filled up with television my days.
That was the last movie I saw in theaters. Was No Way Home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, totally worth the watch. And going to the theater, like I really don't know what the rules are anymore. you know. And I live in Texas. They didn't exist in the first place.
Oh,
Oh boy,
nice.
oh boy.
Yeah, I just went and saw The Bad Guys, that new animated movie, on Friday. I just saw that. It was pretty good. I liked it. I don't know. It's kind of like kids' version of like Ocean's versus meets Tarantino. I don't know. I
What?
dug it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah,
I'm into it.
That's animated, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't
Surprisingly
remember.
good.
I can't picture it for some reason.
It's like they're animals and they're pulling a heist. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember thinking it looked like the Italian Job or something.
yeah. I feel like they didn't really promote it all that much, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty good, actually, surprisingly. And
If there's
Was the movie crowded when you saw it?
no, not at all. No,
Yeah.
there was probably 6 people in there when I was in there.
I don't even remember the trailer.
Yeah,
You liked it? No, that's good, right?
yeah, yeah. I thought it was really good. And I saw A Few Good Men for the very first time just the other day.
oh,
Yeah,
That's a
so
good movie.
I dug that quite a bit. So
there's one I
Yeah.
actually saw in the theater.
oh
I'm
yeah,
not trying to date myself. So I'm only 26 years old, guys. So uh, it must have been put out again or something, I suppose.
maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Hey, don't worry about it, man. I'm 107 years old. It's okay.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
good job.
I
all.
definitely feel like I'm 107 years old most days. Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I'm 150, but
Oh
what
boy.
can you do, right?
Hmm.
What can you do?
Oh yeah.
Well, with all these good movies coming out, I thought it would be fun to take tonight and talk about some of our favorite comic book movies that I we have. No age limit, it could have been anything. I hope you guys have some of this. And one, now I get it thing started. How long have you been watching comic book movies for?
Oh man.
I know, right? That's a tough one.
I think my first like comic book entertainment thing was Batman the Animated Series, like back when it came out in '92. And I was like 8 years old, I think, when it came out. So,
Mhm.
and then I think from that, my dad showed me the '89 Burton film. So that's kind of where my stuff started. Yeah.
Evolution. Gotta
Yeah.
love it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think I accidentally watched a comic book movie when I was way too young for it. I saw The Mask like immediately after it came out. Right.
Nice.
That was
Mhm.
what was it? 95. That movie.
I think
Somewhere around there.
94.
Some 94. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was 2.
Oh yeah.
Should have been watching that movie, but it was a good one.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure the first comic book movie I saw in the theater was Superman the movie.
Nice.
So that was 1978. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So, and I remember going to see it. So then you can deduce how old I am from that.
How is that thing in the movie? How is that thing, that movie in the theaters? Not, did you buy into it right away?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There was nothing like it. There was not like I think the tagline was "You'll believe a man can fly," and you did. It's still to this day. Like the spoiler alerts. I'm pretty sure that movie is going to be high on my list of comic book movies.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
sure.
Probably as high as you can get as a comic book movie on my list. I would imagine. It's incredible. It's still incredible. It's still they're you know it portrayed Superman as he was supposed to be portrayed. If you ask me, they still haven't done it right since.
Yeah, at that time, that was absolutely what Superman was. When the '90s came around, he changed completely. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the 1978 Superman, just because it's so old and to be able to accomplish what they did, I think that's the cult classic aspect of it. But it is still genuinely entertaining to see everybody on screen and doing what they do. So you can't be mad at it. I don't think I like any of the later Superman movies that more than that one. Okay, I agree with you. We need to do it right. We need to do it properly. It's the Incredible Hulk thing all over again. Like, what? How hard is it to make a Wolfman movie? Come on, man.
Yeah.
So, what are your feelings about, you just brought it up, what did you think about the Incredible Hulk movie that came out in 2000?
I was a huge, huge fan of Ang Lee's Hulk when it came out. I can't explain to you why, other than it was like a Greek tragedy or something like that almost that I was watching, rather than like a straight movie. And I really dug the style. I don't know why.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't get the hate for it. It looked like
Right.
a comic book. It had comic book kind of panels and the way the camera moved around and stuff like that. It looked like comic book to me. So it was great. I thought
it was fun and entertaining, if nothing else. The Incredible Hulk, same thing. I think we could have done more with it had all that backstage or back behind the scenes nonsense not happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you get what you get, I guess. Edward Norton's one of those dudes who, if he doesn't want to do it, he's not going to do it.
That's true. That's very true.
I don't think Ruffalo's
they didn't really know what they were.
They
didn't really know what they were doing with the MCU, anyways. So,
right
at that time,
Was
so
that the second one?
I don't see. Yeah, it was technically the second one. It came out like 3 months after Iron Man or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, next to nobody went to go see it.
Yeah,
everybody wanted to see Iron Man multiple times.
I don't think Norton would sign on for a multi-film deal the way they do now. You know what I mean? I just don't see him doing something like that.
It was almost unheard of.
Yeah,
I guess. You have your big budget franchises like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter that evolved beyond just being movies, but it doesn't happen too often.
It's true.
And everybody's been trying to copy the MCU ever since that first Iron Man.
It's true.
How about you, Josh? Any good movies?
I tried to, like, the ones that I wrote down, I tried to not pick my actual, like, top, like, 5, because I feel like they're, like, most of them would be, like, the ones that most people would say. So I tried to pick some other ones that I really loved. Like, one of my favorites is V for Vendetta.
Ooh,
It's
nice.
it's
Yeah, forgot about that one.
such a I love both everybody in that cast is fantastic. It's this amazing political like satire almost, and it's I don't know.
Yeah.
It's I watch it every year in November just because of November the 5th of November.
It's a great movie. I don't
Yeah.
blame you at all. Hugo Weaving and Natalie Portman work off each other so well.
Oh yeah.
Even though you can't see Hugo Weaving's face the entire time.
He gives this
Yeah.
it's kind of like what people always talked about with Dredd, but this was before that. Getting this character who you never see his face, and he gives this amazing performance.
It's the best.
Incredible. Yeah. So good.
But I'm with you. I tried not to go with like the big ones, right? For my list, like the Dark Knight and like Logan and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
anybody would decide those are some of the best. Like,
I mean, I have a couple on mine, but yeah, I tried to get some different.
Logan's on mine. I'm not gonna lie. So is The Mask.
Yeah.
Because it's a great movie. It's one of the like peak Jim Carrey performances because he does have to play two different characters.
It never even enters my mind that The Mask was a comic book movie. I keep forgetting that part, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I always forget it too.
Yeah, I think most people do for sure.
Yeah.
It's not framed that way, right? Like we don't have a superhero.
Yeah.
It's a curse, like the Hulk.
Yeah.
Like how hard is it to do that story? Apparently, it's very difficult.
Well,
It shouldn't be, but yeah, unfortunately, it is.
I think my first comic book movie was in 1991. I was 4 years old, and I saw The Rocketeer.
Oh.
I've never seen that movie.
Still on the list, yeah.
To this day, I absolutely love that movie. It's so fun and cheesy and that great 90s flair. You have Billy Campbell, you have Jennifer Connelly, you have one of the best James Bonds in Timothy Dalton. And it's directed by the Captain America First Adventure director, Sean Johnson. So it's really a fun movie.
Yeah. It was steampunk before steampunk was a thing. You know? That's what I love about it. It's been a while since I've seen that though.
It has Alan Alda. No, not Alan Alda. I'm sorry. What is that guy's name? Adam Arkin? Alan Arkin?
Alan Arkin? Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I like Alan Arkin. Yeah. I'll have to look that up. So, this is what I thought you would do. I asked you to bring a list. I think we should go right into it. Each one of you tell me, let's go down the list, starting with top one. Why don't, Andy, why don't you go first?
I mean, I did come up with a list of kind of like not super popular, but still super well liked comic book movies. Like one of my favorites is Sin City. It's kind of cheating because it's a graphic novel, but it counts.
Still counts.
As far as I'm concerned.
Still counts. Oh yeah.
It's like the criteria for comic book is such a loose idea. Like I think manga could also, or manga, whatever you say, could also count. Like Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
That's on my list. Scott Pilgrim's on my list. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's so damn entertaining. Watching Michael Cera just be Michael Cera for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's great.
And I've never read the books, but the movie is just so frenetic and all over, and I love it.
It's a Frank Miller book, right? Sin City was Frank Miller.
Sin City, yeah.
Sin City was for sure. But it was a Robert Rodriguez flick, and I'm a real big fan of that dude. And that movie's just kick ass. I like everything about it, from the dialogue down to the action sequences. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. Bruce Willis is one of, I think, if not my favorite character in the entire story. Just his interactions with Jessica Alba in there, give and take. Oh man, it's so entertaining to watch. I could do it for days.
I forget. Isn't Josh Brolin in that too, or no?
He was in Dame to Kill for. He took
Okay.
over
Right.
Clive Owen's spot playing Dwight McCarthy.
Mickey Rourke, was that the one? Is that the movie that Mickey Rourke made his comeback really in? Was Sin City as well?
I really don't know. I can't remember. I remember him doing something.
Yeah, I think. I mean, he's definitely in it, and I do think that was kind of like his comeback. So
it was a great performance on his part too.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Marv is a lunatic, but I think the hands down best performance in the entire movie is Elijah Wood.
Oh yeah, he's so creepy.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
He's got that face, which is why I really want to see Maniac, but I can't find it anywhere. It's annoying.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not streaming except on services that I don't have. Go figure.
Oh boy.
What are you gonna do? I got HBO Max so I can watch The Batman. That was a pretty interesting flick. I'm not gonna lie. Has everybody seen it? First of all,
No.
I have, yeah.
No. Okay. No spoilers.
I'll watch it at some point this week. I'm sure Batman chases after the Riddler and Catwoman gets in the way for a bit. I have a pretty good idea of what happens in the movie. I'm still gonna watch it though.
I mean, my biggest complaint about the movie is it's not really a movie. It doesn't feel like a movie, at least. It's more like a mini series. Like if Netflix ever decided to do a Batman show in the style of like Daredevil or Jessica Jones.
I've heard that they could make it like six. Well, I heard that they from people they could have made this movie like 6 episodes.
Yes.
Of really great Batman television.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that's actually something I liked about the movie because it felt like I was reading. I felt like I was watching a graphic novel. You know, you have these individual issues that come together to make this full story. And that's what it felt like to me. That's one of the things I did like about it a lot. But I could see that. I could see them breaking it down if they ever wanted to. So.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I think the Justice League movie also suffered from that issue. Yeah, it really didn't need to be that long.
But that movie was specifically broken down, though. Like, it had chapter cards and everything.
Right. Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
They knew better this time around.
Yeah.
What did you think of Robert Pattinson as the Batman?
Oh, I think he's great.
I liked him, yeah.
Quite a bit. I think his interactions with Alfred are incredible because Andy Serkis is also great.
That's true. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, as to which one is the better actor, I'm really not sure. It's Serkis, absolutely. But I mean, that's not to say that Pattinson is bad. I think he makes a great Batman, not a fantastic Bruce Wayne, but he doesn't do it.
I think it's just that it's the version of Bruce Wayne that they're using because he's not the Bruce Wayne that we know. He's not the playboy, you know, going throwing big parties and hitting on ladies. Bruce Wayne that we know yet. He's still self-loathing
all the time
and just like ready to essentially die for the cause at any moment. That's so I think that threw a lot of people off because
I think we'll get that Bruce Wayne, but I think it would be either in the second one or in the third one.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if in the sequel we see him starting to kind of head that way, you know, attending parties and kind of forming that personality a bit more.
I really
have that cover. So
man, I can't talk about it. But I thought we were going to introduce some stuff that would set up for a sequel, but we don't really. Again, there's just so much in the movie already. Like,
have they said they're doing sequels for this movie yet, or is it just it's?
I mean, they're doing 2 television shows, a Penguin series and an Arkham series, and I don't know if they've officially said they're doing a sequel, but I know that Matt Reeves has talked about like what he would want for a sequel. So
an Arkham series could be fun, I suppose.
It was originally supposed to be a GCPD series, and they kind of shifted it to Arkham.
Would it be? Was that what Gotham was about? Like, or like, wasn't that about like the GCPD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It was the early days
just before Batman.
Yeah.
GCPD BP.
Yeah, because it starts with Bruce as a kid. 12. He loses his parents right there at the beginning. So, yeah.
Spoiler alert, guys. Spoiler alert.
First episode. They haven't watched it by now. That's on
I'm
them.
sorry you didn't know his parents died.
We have one more joining us. Here comes Chris.
Oh snap!
Oh,
Hey, what's up?
What up?
hey, Chris.
Sorry about that.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Good. Just running some family troubles, so that I jump on. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry I'm late.
It's cool, man.
Yeah.
Good?
Just talking some comic book movies.
Right. We were just talking about some of our lesser known favorites to get started, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have anyone before you, Chris?
My favorite. I mean, my top three would be like, I would say lesser known. I would say Batman and Robin. I mean, I'm just kidding. Obviously, that's not my top three, but lesser known favorites would be Batman and Robin. You know,
Sure.
that's not my top three, but you know, my top would be Logan, Watchmen, Deadpool.
Wow.
Top three.
Oh yeah, man, Deadpool's a great movie.
It is. Yeah.
That's hard to argue with, but yeah, it's got to go up there, right? Unlike of all time.
Watchmen is the movie that it kept going in my head. It's like, would I put that as a top 5 favorite comic book movie? And I really enjoyed the movie, but it's one of the ones that I actually read, like all the Watchmen comics before the movie came out.
Wow.
And I just didn't think that it's different. It's different than the book enough that I would say that I enjoyed the movie, but I wouldn't put it as a favorite. It definitely isn't a true transfer from the comics and stuff. A lot of the stuff is the same, but they took a huge amount of stuff and they condensed it into a very small 2 and something hour movie. And yeah, there's a lot of parts that would have made more sense to be in the movie that weren't in. It's still enjoyable though. Like I still liked it, and I thought the soundtrack was very good. I liked the way that he cut stuff together. The Watchmen. It was very. I would have put that close to my top 5 for sure. I was thinking about it earlier today. Just
That's
didn't make
fine.
it for me.
I wouldn't have put it on my list at all, bro. Like, no offense to anybody who likes that movie. It's not for me. I'm not into it.
It's fair.
I like elements of the movie. Like, stylistically, it's very pleasing to the eye. Jackie Earl Haley makes a great Rorschach. I think he was actually a great choice for Freddy Krueger, which also counts as a comic book movie, but
Wow.
yeah, it didn't pan out.
I'm probably in the middle with you guys. Like I like it, but it's not near my top. But it's not one that I dislike. So
I wouldn't watch it if I had the opportunity to watch something else. You know.
it's fair. It's fair.
It's hard
How
to narrow
about
it.
you? Do you have a favorite movie you want to talk about? One of your list?
I'll throw out another stylistic one.
Okay.
Blade. God, it's an outstanding movie.
Yeah,
Woo.
great.
It's so awesome just to watch. You'll never see a movie like that again.
That's true. I mean, that was pure like 90s 2000. Yeah, that was what that was, man. That is exactly what that movie was. Hit right at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. It was like lightning in a bottle the time it came out. Like it was so good. People
The
love
best scene
it.
is the raving like blood scene is one of the best.
Yeah,
Like
blood
the
rave.
very first scene.
Yeah.
The very first scene in the movie. It's all downhill from there, is what you're saying, Chris. Great.
Exactly.
I really love the sequel. I think I might like the sequel, Blade 2, better than Blade.
I'll give you that.
I'll say that Blade 3 is a hunk of shit, and no one should ever watch it in a million years. But those first 2 Blade movies are so fucking good. And so then again, saw those in the theater. Didn't even know I didn't know that Blade was even a comic. Like it's not like I watched the Spider-Man animated show. I saw some episodes, but I didn't know Blade was even in that stuff. I had no
That's
idea it
usually
was a
how it
comic book movie when I went to see it, and then all of a sudden all the articles came out about how Marvel, it's the first comic book movie since Howard the Duck or something like that for Marvel, I guess. So So they picked Blade for this. I was like, all right, yeah, but it was good. I was. That's a movie that a comic book movie that I've rewatched a few times, which is rare.
I mean, they
I
tried to do Marvel tried to do some movies like that '90s Fantastic
Yeah.
Four movie from Roger Corman and stuff like that. Like they
Did
tried.
you ever see that? Did you
Oh
ever see
yeah,
that movie?
I have it on DVD. It's hilarious.
I watched it on YouTube, and the only thing Doctor Doom looks like Doctor Doom. That's the only thing I'm gonna say about that movie. And he would
True.
shake his hand every time.
Yes, he
"Whoa,
did."
those goddamn Fantastic Four or whatever. Shake his hand every time. So funny.
Oh man,
What year
Good
did
one.
Blade come out? Because Spawn was also, I think Spawn was 96.
Spawn came out after Blade. I think-
Blade came
Shit,
out in
wow.
'98.
Yeah, I'm
1998.
pretty sure.
98. Yep.
Wow.
Spawn was fun too. I liked Spawn.
Yeah, there was
I
a
know,
lot of
right?
good dark ones around that time, like that Spawn, Crow, like all those movies came out. Like these like kind of weird characters that you wouldn't think of that were comic books that were real dark and did some
Right.
good stuff.
There was some, I don't know which came first, but there's a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic, and I really like that movie.
Classic.
That movie came out in 1995, I believe.
Yes, 95 was the movie. The show originally aired in 93, got into season 2, fired most of everybody, did the movie.
Yeah. But the show,
yeah.
the show is based on like a Japanese show, so
Super Sentai. It's
Yeah.
awesome. If you get a chance to sit down and watch some Super Sentai, absolutely do it.
Yeah.
I think it's on Tubi.
I've seen a few of them, and I've been on like a Power Rangers podcast a couple times talking about some stuff. So for
Oh, really?
one, yeah.
Cool.
And so it's interesting.
I really like it. I
I've
actually
never seen
went to
it.
Power Morphicon, got my DVD case signed by everybody.
Nice.
It was man, it was a good day.
Nice.
Yeah.
God, I'm trying to think what else we might be able to bring up. Hellboy,
Hellboy.
2004.
Good one.
Man,
Yes.
So good. The sequel again, The Golden Army, is so good.
it is. But I'm a huge fan of Guillermo del Toro. He's the
Yeah.
best
That's
creature
what-
designer in the game, bro. Man,
Why I like
Anything like that
Blade
touches.
2. Blade 2 is better than Blade 1 just because Guillermo del
full
Toro.
circle. Except at that time, Guillermo del Toro took Blade 2 and made a Mortal Kombat movie. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we
It was
can't talk about our comic book movies and not bring up one of the biggest ones that kick-started off in 2000, in the year 2000, the very first X-Men.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
How many of you saw that, and how many of you liked that movie?
Oh yeah.
of course I fucking love
yeah,
it.
love that one.
Yeah.
Though I do
Here's a-
like the
here's-
second one better.
Here's a true story. So I was living in a town in Ontario called Burlington, and one day I was where I lived. I lived on Lakeshore Drive, and there's this park across the street from me. And one night they had the road and stuff like that closed off, and all these trucks were there at the lights and stuff. Like, there's lots of movies and TV shows that get filmed in and around Southern Ontario, so it wasn't a big thing until I started hearing that these guys are filming an X-Men movie. And I said, what the fuck? As a kid that had like the first, I don't know how many, 200, 300 X-Men comic books, I was pretty excited. So I was waiting around at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got to see Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Storm, and Sabretooth just milling around.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm very excited. So you get to see that scene for like 1 fucking second in the entire thing. So the scene is when they get to Liberty Island and they jump over the big chains to get onto the island itself, like that 1 5-second thing.
Yeah.
That's what tied up my street for 5 hours.
Oh
But,
wow.
or more than that, maybe. That's just how long I was there or whatever. So yeah, so that's where I got to see them, and Sabretooth walking around on some rocks that are just down by it. That's it. That's yeah.
That's pretty
But yes,
cool.
I got to see the X-Men comics with my own eyes or whatever. So I was very excited. I didn't understand why everything was black. I had, If I didn't recognize the haircut in Wolverine, I wouldn't have known it was him.
Yeah.
But you can
Yeah,
tell Cyclops for sure.
That was one thing I was always bummed about with that. Is like they didn't do those costumes that we always saw in the comics. And I know it probably would have looked really bad at the time, but
they were trying to avoid
wanted them.
ridiculously, make them look more uniform and like
Except that
a team. They didn't want to go all Power Rangers with it.
Oh,
They wanted black leather, like the Matrix. You know, that was a big thing.
I think you're right.
For sure. What is a movie that doesn't have a comic book that you think should have a comic book?
Ooh.
I know, right? I'll give you an example. I recently saw Scanners, and I thought, man, that would make a fantastic comic book. Let's do some of that.
I have one.
What's up?
The Goonies.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. They just go around fighting monsters.
getting treasure. There's pirate treasure.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. They need to save the town from corporate.
Yep, you're right.
Another one. Stranger Things. Not the movie or show, but.
There's a bunch of comics for Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah. I highly recommend them. They're real good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and I love that show, and I can't wait for the new season to start up here in a couple of weeks. But I didn't know there was comics. Like, that is something I would be interested in reading now, is Stranger Things comics.
Yeah.
Of course,
I
I'm
actually
waiting
have
now
not
until
seen
after the
it.
season.
Yeah, I think
You've
it's.
never seen Stranger Things?
Whoa.
Oh, boy.
I just saw it like 3 months ago for the first time. So,
Okay.
I mean,
How dare all of you.
It's available. I'm sure I'll get around to it.
Yeah.
I did see one thing about it. My brother was really into the show, and I happened to be walking through the living room or something while he was watching the show, and I see the sheriff dude on top of this kid and giving him CPR, and he's like getting more and more frantic with it, and thus more and more violent. And I was like, he's breaking that kid's fucking ribcage.
I feel like we see that a lot in movies and TV, just in general.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's true. I just thought it was funny. Like this
Who
tiny
don't know
little
how to do CPR.
obvious dummy. This dude's just like wailing on him. Ugh. But yeah, I'm sure it's right up my alley. I love horror.
Yeah, I don't know why it took me so long to just actually sit down and watch it, but I sat down and just like went right through that thing.
Yeah, and I'm a huge goddamn wussy when it comes to horror movies and stuff like that. But that is something that I would say, like, again, the first episode, it took me a while. Like, everyone talking, when it first came out, everyone talking about Stranger Things and how good it is. I was like, okay, fine, I'm not going to watch it because I prefer my pants not to be pissed.
Yeah.
So, but then, eventually I started watching that first, getting through that first episode. I was like, phew, all right. Well, I got through one. And then it took a couple of days, and then I watched the second one. And as soon as I watched the second one, I watched the third. And then the whole series was done within that day or whatever. So, yeah. And then, just counting down the days until season 2 came, and then season 3.
I couldn't imagine everybody who's had to wait 3 years between seasons 3 and now. I'm just like, I can't know, man.
Years. My damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to watching, I'm used to when there was 24, 22 episode seasons of shows every single year. Those are the shows I watched all my life. And these here's 6 episodes. Now wait 2 years for another.
Now it's 6 or 8. It's
they shit them out all at once too. They don't even drop one a week. It's like, oh, here you go, guys. Everything.
Yeah.
God damn it.
And I find
I have to watch them all.
I'm more likely to watch a show if it comes out weekly than if they drop it all at once.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot more. Like the way they did, say, for example, Peacemaker.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
enjoy that so much more because you actually get a chance for other people that are watching it. They're on the same level as you. You know what I mean? You haven't watched 4 episodes while they've only watched 2. You guys have seen the same fucking amount of episodes at the same exact time. You can talk
That's a good
about it for a
point.
week and anticipate the next episode, especially with something like Peacemaker, where like honestly, no one had any fucking idea what was going on with Peacemaker because if anybody knew the lore of Peacemaker, if anybody knew the story, the arc of Peacemaker, I would shake my head in disgust. It's like, how dare you? Like, nobody knows about this. That's what made it so good. That
I'm a
nobody
big
knew.
DC guy, and I didn't really know much of anything about this guy either. So
Mhm.
he's such an obscure character.
I
That's
mean,
usually the way it works.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Moon Knight right now. Nobody
Yeah.
knows about Moon Knight. And if
Oh,
you do,
yeah.
I'm sorry, but that show for me is fantastic. That might be my favorite MCU show. Right
It's
now.
getting there for me, definitely. It depends on how they stick the last 2 episodes. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I wouldn't
yeah.
say it's my favorite. I like it. And I was thinking about it the same way as like what Ben was saying. Like I was thinking about the same way like Peacemaker. I have no idea where this is going. So I was very excited when it started and stuff like that. There's just something about it that I don't quite get, and I'm pretty sure it's that fake British accent for Steven. Yeah, it kind of it's like not the best, guys. Not great. But yeah, the story itself is fine. Oh, and the voice for the Egyptian, the actual moon god.
F.
Do you
Murray
remember
Abraham.
yeah, I kept thinking that it was like it sounded like Optimus Prime or something. It takes me out of the story. Like that is not how I would figure a Greek or an Egyptian god should sound. It's like telling the Autobots to roll out for sure.
Yes.
Assemble.
Yes, you're right.
Let's talk about another big movie that came out in 2002, 20 years ago. And that is the very first Spider-Man movie. Tobey Maguire, James Franco, William Dafoe, Kristen Dunst. What did everyone think about this Spider-Man movie that came
Don't
out?
forget Bruce Campbell. Don't forget Randy
Yeah.
the Macho Man Savage.
Absolutely.
So
Cameron,
many.
Apparently
So
they cut out a line from that scene with Macho Man. I found out where he says, "Did your husband make that for you?" Apparently, in some version, I don't know if it's
they
on
cut it out.
the streaming or somewhere. I saw it online. Someone was
Aw,
they took that out. I was
whatever.
like
That's
okay,
too bad.
yeah. I
Bone
was like,
Saw's
I get
great.
it. It
Bone Saw's
doesn't like it doesn't hold up, but don't. I'm not a fan of cutting things like that out.
I
But
love it.
I love that
that
movie nonetheless.
Probably still my favorite Spider-Man movie. Although I really enjoy the new movies. We were saying off camera that I just saw the brand new one. Is it No Way Home?
Oh yeah.
Is that what that
Yeah.
was called?
Yeah.
And it's very good.
It's pretty good.
I prefer Homecoming the most of the 3 still because I think the Vulture was an incredible villain. Because Michael Keaton, what are you gonna do? And then those first movies when they came out, you guys have to remember they were like trying forever to get a Spider-Man movie done. I think James Cameron at one point was trying to get a Spider-Man movie done. All these things, and then eventually they finally fucking get the thing done, and they basically nail Spider-Man. They nailed Spider-Man. Maybe not nailed Peter Parker, but they nailed Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, and the Green Goblin was great. I thought it was very strange what they did with the armor for the Green Goblin and stuff like
Yeah.
that, changing it a little bit and stuff. But
At the same time,
they decided on one villain for it, which is something I appreciate. I don't understand Batman and Spider-Man's thing with having to throw in 5 or 6 villains at a time. I enjoy just having one villain, having one story, and they did. It's the very first DVD I ever owned was Spider-Man, so it's something I watched quite a few times while very, 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 very super very high getting home from work, and I'd watch it and then pass out in the middle of it. So I know like the first 45 minutes of the Spider-Man movie like the back of my hand. The other 45 minutes, an hour, I'm fuzzy on it.
It's hit and miss.
It turns out I didn't watch the whole movie in one stretch very often, but I would every once in a blue moon. But yes, the first Spider-Man movie was, I still think, one of the best comic book movies of all time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Spider-Man 2 is a good sequel, though, as far as the Raimi trilogy is concerned.
Sure.
I think The Amazing Spider-Man gets a lot of shit, but it's warranted. Says they're not great movies, but they're not terrible, and I'll watch Andrew Garfield in anything. The biggest problem with No Way Home for me is that, much like Infinity War, this cannot be the first time you've seen these people.
Yeah.
You have to watch all of that other shit before you get to this point.
Yeah.
I feel like that's problematic for most people. Like, that's a lot to put on the audience to already know.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, just Spider-Man movies, it's what, 8 movies? 7 to get to that, just to get to that, not including anything from the MCU.
Right.
So,
anything else he was already in. Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot to get ready for.
My 9-year-old self would be very happy to know that at this point in my life there'd be 8 Spider-Man movies you can go watch, not even including the Avengers and everything else that he was in. So I would be very excited.
I think The Amazing Spider-Man 1 is a very good movie that came out to support the Spider-Man 3. I think if you waited maybe another 5 to 10 years, I think people would like that movie better.
I think if the studio had stuck their nose out of it, then maybe it would have actually been better than it was, unfortunately.
I thought, really, Amazing Spider-Man 1, I thought that was good. Amazing Spider-Man 2, that's when the studio got into it.
That movie suffered a lot.
Is that the one with the rhino?
Yeah. Trying to force the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
He's going to waste Paul Giamatti like that. It's messed up, man.
And he wasn't even like, it was such a bad like Russian accent and everything. It's like, what are they doing here?
I, for the longest time, didn't know it was supposed to be Russian. I thought he was English.
See, and that's problematic.
Yeah.
That's bad, yeah. But we haven't even talked about, like, to me, what the best Spider-Man movie is, and that's Into the Spider-Verse. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That was my other problem with No Way Home. We didn't have Miles Morales there. Like, if most of the action is going to be CG anyway, put in a cartoon character. I don't think the MCU fans would appreciate it too much, but I think it could have worked. Like, he's two-dimensional.
He just like pops through and then goes right back out. We're just like, what was that?
Right.
Yeah.
I remember there's so many rumors and like people talking about like that it was gonna happen, and then it was just like nope.
Like, I'm surprised Marvel didn't try and put him in, like, even just in those tags or whatever at the end of the movie, just because there was all that things like does Sony own Peter Parker and not Miles Morales? Those kind of things. Can they figure out if they can't get Peter Parker in a movie, can they shoehorn Miles Morales in? And I'd be very happy with that. I really like Miles Morales. I like the comic books more than I like the actual movie itself. The movie was fine. It was good. But Miles Morales in the comics is fucking kick-ass.
And I mean, they set up Miles to technically be in the MCU because his Uncle Aaron is in Homecoming, who becomes the Prowler and everything. So like, they set that up that he's part of that universe. They just didn't do anything with it.
Let me ask you guys this. Could we get Miles Morales in Doctor Strange 2?
I don't see why not.
I would fucking love that.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so much they have to do though. Like they're putting a lot. They're putting a lot on this movie. I don't know. I don't know if introducing a huge character, like if you're gonna introduce the next Spider-Man, Would you do that in Doctor Strange too? I don't think so. You'd probably have to wait until an Avengers kind of event thing to drop him, like they did with the Spider-Man in Civil War, which is basically an
Well,
Avengers
was the
movie. I
implication of Endgame not that they're not going to do these characters anymore?
They're not going to do those ones.
Right.
They're not.
We'll
They're not.
do
Yeah,
a
it's
different
gonna for
a
sure.
different team, but I mean, will we still call them the Avengers, or will they have
Oh yeah,
a different name,
Who knows?
I
Like-
think they'll still be called
Probably.
Avengers.
like
Yeah,
the Avengers, Zeo, and so forth?
Yeah, they'll I think they're just going to be called Avengers.
Yeah.
Like in the comics, the Avengers changed all the time, and
It's
a
true.
whole bunch of these characters were never Avengers.
They had
Oh my
different
God,
versions too. They
Spider-
had like
Spider-Man
the Young
was never an
Avengers.
Avenger.
They had like
Doctor
the West
Strange
Coast Avengers.
was never an Avenger.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doctor Strange famously was a Defender. He
Right.
was a Defender with the Hulk and the Silver Surfer and Namor and stuff like that. So, and then again, is Prince Namor coming? I've heard things
It's rumored
about
he's in
it.
Black Panther.
Fantastic,
Panther, yeah.
oh boy, and Fantastic Four. Like I fucking love the Fantastic Four. If they could get that right, it would be so good. It's a huge if.
I mean,
I
we know
don't know if they
Fantastic
can.
Four is coming because they already announced that. That's like at the end of Phase 4.
I
They
always
announced
thought-
that one.
I always thought that Fantastic Four would make a great television show. I don't know about a movie, but I think it would make a fantastic TV show. But you got to trust what these guys are doing over at Marvel. They really have had very few misses with what they've
Yeah.
done.
It's
I
true.
mean, a huge thing
I
out of Black
suppose-
Panther of all characters. Like if Black Panther is fantastic, and again, another Avengers adjacent character. He was never a real huge Avenger, but he would show up and he would help them out because Wakanda was such a insular country and stuff like that, and he really didn't want to go outside of that in the comics. But they did a fantastic job with him, and now and it fucking sucks what happens, and cancer is fucking terrible, and it robbed everybody to see what he could do as that character. But I would have, Black Panther would have been is an example of what you could do with a ancillary character if it's done right. But it also has to be done at the right time and stuff like that too. So I would to put Miles Morales back to Miles Morales, like just to put him in Doctor Strange into the multiverse of madness, I don't think makes sense at all. Like he's not he's never a part of anything to do with Doctor Strange. Like to have him that's why he would have made more sense if you would have put him in the tag at the end of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
That
No Way
would make
Home.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I wouldn't be surprised though, because the movie's weird that Doctor Strange is like portaling through these different dimensions or whatever, and we just happen to be in an animated one for like 5 seconds, and we
Yeah.
see him.
I see
And
what
you know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised, and I think it would fit there better than it would have in No Way Home. You know what I mean?
I suppose I think you could put it in either one because they're still messing with time travel or something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
We already
that
expect
fourth
Doctor
dimensional
Strange
stuff.
to be real weird. Like we already expect that. So
Oh,
yeah,
I feel like it would fit a little bit better there. But
It's a little wibbly
goddamn
wobbly.
love
I'll
that
tell you.
movie.
it's true.
Yeah.
That's the other one I was thinking about when we were talking about putting a list and stuff like that. It's like, do I put Doctor Strange on there? It's just,
It's a good one.
It
I like
is.
that
yeah,
movie.
it's right there, and it probably is. I can just think, I could think of 5 other ones that I might have enjoyed more, but I can't think of a scene I enjoyed more than just when Stephen Strange is driving and the song playing in his car is Interstellar Overdrive by Pink Floyd, and I legit geeked out in the movie theater. It's like, oh fuck, it's Floyd! I was so happy. And of course, everybody was like, "What the fuck are you fucking talking about?" Like a song from their first album, but it's so good, guys. It's all played on one string.
But yeah, I think they are going to try to use it to make everything fit properly. Like, oh, it's a multiverse, so we're gonna reset some stuff.
Yeah.
That way, what we're gonna do next makes more sense.
That way, if we want to recast somebody, it's not a big deal. They're a variant. We already introduced that in Loki. It's all good.
People are weird about passing the mantle with things like Miles Morales and the Thor passing on that we're going to see later on. Man, I can't remember the name of his daughter to save my life. I did see the next Avengers. Yeah, it was a pretty good movie. But, man, Thor pisses me off. I'm sorry. It's very upsetting. I was so looking forward to Ragnarok because I really like Planet Hulk. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yes.
But those concepts don't fit well together. That shouldn't have happened that way.
Yeah.
I was so angry when I left the theater after that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah, I really like Planet
that's the way
Hulk
I
as
looked
well.
at it.
But
I would have loved
I thought
Planet Hulk
and
and World
it was
War Hulk,
funny.
but
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I did the same thing with Watchmen.
But they're not going to do a Hulk movie, guys. They aren't going to do a Hulk movie.
Yeah, because they can't.
they just can't. They don't. They're tied up in legal issues. Yeah.
Universal's never going to give those distribution rights back. They're just not.
Not yet.
No.
Is that the problem though with Namor? Wasn't he part of that
Yeah.
Universal deal?
Universal,
Yep.
yeah.
That's why he'll probably just show up in like Black Panther. He probably won't get his own movie or anything like that. We'll just see him as a character.
The Submariner. If they just call him Submariner and not Namor, then maybe they can get away with it. There's got to be a loophole or whatever they can get away with this shit.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
We should talk about the movie that started the MCU in 2008. Came out the first week in May. Iron Man. What did everyone think of the first Iron Man movie?
I love that. It's still in like my top 10 of the MCU. So, I love that one. Yeah.
I couldn't believe they made a movie about Iron Man. I couldn't believe that they put Iron Man at the front of the line. Like, this is the one that we're going to do, guys, is Iron Man.
Except, again, we did movies before Iron Man. It was just, I really don't know what it was. That was Robert Downey Jr.'s big comeback, I guess, that set Iron Man ablaze. But we had things like Blade and Spawn and The Punisher even. And, man, I really like that first Punisher movie. Thomas Jane is just the perfect Frank Castle. Man, he's so good. But, yeah, I can't argue. Iron Man is like the quintessential, the godfather of comic book movies. It's wild.
When you were talking about the first Punisher movie, I thought you were talking about the one with Dolph Lundgren.
Yes.
Which was nuts.
No, not that one.
Oh, man.
Iron Man and made him like a top tier list hero, because like in the comics,
they made
he was never like prime tier, and then they just branched off the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe off of him.
Yeah.
And back to what Ben was saying, I'm sure nobody was actually that big an Iron Man fan when that movie came out. Like, they were just incredibly entertained, and I really like Iron Man. I remember the comics. I never read one, but I saw it.
Yeah, exactly.
They had done some cartoons, like they did a whole bunch of cartoons in the 90s where they just shit out cartoons for everybody. There was the good ones like Spider-Man and X-Men, but
Iron Man had one. Yeah,
there was an Iron Man one.
Black Panther had one.
Yeah, there was Silver Surfer had one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there was a bunch of garbage that they pooped out.
That's true.
So there was so it wasn't like Iron Man came out of nowhere, but to see that level of success for an Iron Man movie would have been unfathomable for me 20-something years ago. I would not have understood.
Nobody's going to see this movie except me, obviously, right?
Yeah, and it turns out there's a lot of people like me that have read the comics and stuff like that. Wouldn't call themselves huge comic book guys, but would read comics every once in a while. But didn't love Iron Man, but still enjoyed Iron Man and would like to see what he did. And then as soon as you saw the movie, you want to see it again. Like that's a very few number of movies I've seen twice in a movie theater, and that is one for sure.
And then,
fantastic.
I'm surprised it survived because the first movie exploded. Obviously, everybody loved it. The second movie came out. People were so angry. It
Yeah.
was not received well at
Mhm.
all. People were like, man, I can't believe this is the sequel. Make another one. They weren't even like, stop making movies. Make another one.
Yeah.
Do it better this time. It was weird. It was very strange. Like audiences changed in their
Did the second
consumption.
Iron Man movie come out before all the other Marvel ones? Like, did it come out before the Hulk Iron Man
No.
2?
Oh,
The Hulk
Incredible
came
Hulk.
3 months after the first Iron Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people
Yeah.
didn't even realize that they were connected. That was
Yeah.
was a problem. They didn't know that this was a connected universe, especially because like sitting around for an end credit scene wasn't a thing that we did.
Mhm.
We didn't
Yeah.
think to do that at the time, and both of them had that. And then Iron Man 2 came out.
Are you guys trying to wait a minute? Are you guys trying to tell me that guys didn't wait around till the end credits filmed or finished for Dude, Where's My Car?
I mean, I've
Just
seen
in
that
case
movie
something happened?
dozens of times, but no, I probably have not actually done that.
We had the blooper reel to get us through the credits, so it's not the same thing.
That's true.
That's weird.
Is the first credit scene to Dude, Where's My Car?
No.
Uh,
Oh, at least. Oh, there. You know what? There very well maybe. I could say, yeah, there might be.
Oh yeah.
I could not. As soon as that movie was done, so was I.
Fair.
I know I'm in the minority on this, but I love that movie.
Oh, so
Dude, Where's My Car?
Oh man.
it's ridiculous.
It's a great movie. I just love screwball comedy like that.
Mhm. The continuum transfunctioner.
Yeah. It's a freaking Rubik's Cube. It's amazing.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
You know
Yeah.
what? That is a movie I want to see a comic book about.
Oh,
Where's
yeah.
My Car?
Oh, no.
Where's my car?
Just the
I know where you can find one.
continued adventures.
Oh boy.
It's called Regular Show. They have a comic book. And that show is just Dude, Where's My Car? Except they drive a golf cart, so I like to call it Dude, Where's My Cart?
Oh,
All right.
I get it.
There
I
it
get
is.
it. I get it.
They just get super high and they take one mundane idea and turn it into, like, fighting Cyclopses on the moon or some such.
I knew they were there. Fuck, I knew it.
Yeah.
It's about time that people brought that shit to light.
It is. I swear, man. I don't know how that show's for children.
You know, after Iron Man 2, we got the first Thor movie. Chris Hemsworth made introduction to the MCU. What did everyone think about this movie? And let's not forget, Tom Henderson's introduction as Loki. What did everyone think about this movie?
I liked it.
Yeah, I like it. I'm weird. I like the second one better than the first one.
You are fucking weird.
I'm weird, man, because I like the stuff on Asgard. I don't want to see him on Earth. I want him like out there and doing some weird shit in space. That's what I want. Or whatever, not in space, but you know what I mean. I know that I'm weird and that because I like that one more, but yeah,
I agree.
Loki was the best part, I think, of
yeah.
that. So
Yeah, I think, and for sure, the character changed. The character changed every time you show up in a movie. It seems so.
yeah,
But for the better, like he was fine. Like he was good in Thor. Like Thor is Thor. But by the time the Avengers come around, the first Avengers movie, and he has that the line about he's adopted, and then you realize that this guy has actual comedic chops or whatever, can deliver lines as a straight man, even so. Yeah, he's it's a good movie, I think, but the character gets better as it goes. Aside from the Dark World, which was again a movie that I saw, and I can say that.
fair.
I didn't like the villain in that. The villain in the Dark World is so forgettable. What was his name? Malekith?
Malekith.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And, okay. Chris Eccleston played him. That's cool. But Yeah. Well,
I can't remember how much of Anthony Hopkins was in the Dark World.
I don't know.
Honestly, don't know.
They
He
must,
was
he must,
asleep.
he
most
must
of
have
it.
been
Yeah,
there.
I said I don't think a lot.
Oh,
Because
that's right. He did the
he
sleep.
did the Odin sleep during that one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why I didn't feel like he was there.
He was tired. He needed to rest.
Yep.
Yep.
He needed a nap.
They still dropped off a wheelbarrow full of money for him. It's like,
Yep.
you know what you got to do in this one, Sir Tony? Let's go to sleep.
Yeah,
You know
just
what you
lay
gotta do?
down.
Go have a nap.
You'll be good. Yeah.
It's like, I was going to do that in 15 minutes anyways. Thank you for the buckets and buckets of money.
There it is.
For real.
what did everyone think about Captain America: The First Avenger?
Loved it.
Oh yeah.
It's fine.
When
love
it
that
came
movie.
out, I was like, "Holy shit, this is great!" And then when the second one came out, I was like, "This is way better."
Oh, God.
Right.
Well,
Winter
what are you gonna
Soldier
do?
is like my favorite MCU movie. You don't get better
Yeah.
than that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
They,
Even Civil War, which is a good movie, falls just short of Winter Soldier.
I wanted more stuff with like the Howling Commandos. That's what I wanted.
Winter
Yeah.
Soldier, like just to say, Winter Soldier by itself, without ever having to watch another MCU movie, is a perfect movie, just self-contained as itself. You don't need to know anything else. You can just pick up that movie and watch it. It is, as far as the MCU goes, perfect. It is as good as they'll do. And of course, there's other movies that are more popular that have made way more money, but none of them are as good. And yeah, like in the list, that was the highest ranked MCU movie for me, for sure.
Me too. Like
Mhm.
it's what that was 2014, so it's like
Yep.
8 years, and there's been lots of movies that have come out.
It's only
And
been
it's
that long.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, and it's always stayed on top.
And that's because I love Infinity War. Like, that's. I can't say that it's my favorite because Winter Soldier is my favorite. And like I was saying earlier, like freaking Snark was saying, you need a lot more stuff going into it than you do the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
Such a good
Yeah.
movie.
It's
Such a
like,
good movie.
yeah, it's successful in so many. Just as even a political / spy movie, so good. It's so good.
Espionage. I agree.
And and getting Bob Redford out. What are you gonna do?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, before we continue on the MCU, now go back to 2005 for a second. Now talk about a little known director called Christopher Nolan and his movie Batman Begins. What did everyone think about the first Nolan Batman movie?
Hot take, best of his 3. Just saying.
100% agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that is not a hot take. It is the best one
It is.
by far. And I really like the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises is meh. It's fine. It's a movie
Yeah.
as well. But Batman Begins is so friggin' good.
It's so good. They really nail that comic book style, which none of the other movies have captured. I get they weren't going for it, but you got to enjoy it while it's there.
Right. If you're going to adapt the comic book movie and you're making it more of a comic book movie than any of them, that's.
Yeah, because comic book movies have a little of everything, I feel, right? You got your action, you got your romance, you got your adventure, your mystery, your thriller / horror stuff. Yeah, if you're a good comic book movie, you got all that stuff. But that's just
You also went kind of deep into the rogues gallery too, with Ra's al Ghul and the Scarecrow being the two villains, and you're relaunching a franchise like Batman, and you didn't go from one of his more well-known villains and stuff like that. It's like, no, we're gonna tell a proper Batman story.
And that Scarecrow was fantastic. I thought it was fantastic.
Terrific.
Oh, it was glorious.
He showed up in every movie.
Yeah, kept coming back, and that's what I liked. Like, it's because like usually what we're used to is like, okay, here's a villain, okay, they're dead at the end, and then you never see him again. But yeah, he just kept coming back, and that's one of the things I loved about it.
Spoiler alerts, guys. Spoilers for the Batman movie.
Everybody dies.
Yeah, it's Reservoir Dog style. Boom, 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 boom.
I'd watch that. I would watch that.
Me too, right?
Like just
Tarantino does
a rogues, like a Batman rogues gallery movie that's like Reservoir Dogs. I want that now.
Mhm.
Yes, absolutely.
I can see the Joker cutting off somebody's ear, dousing him in gasoline.
Just like a
Why
bunch
not?
of D-listers all over the place. Condiment Man or whatever.
Guys, I have
Condiment
Little
King.
Green Bag in my head now. How dare you all?
Why did everybody think of Christian Bale's intro as Bruce Wayne / Batman in this movie?
I thought he
think makes a
started good.
Batman. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I
he
thought
makes a good Batman.
I thought it got progressively like farther away from what I wanted as it went on, but I thought it started off really good. So
You get the feeling he's kind of sort of experimenting with it every time you see him.
yeah,
It's not consistent. I agree with you.
yeah.
I really enjoyed him as Batman. Bruce Wayne was whatever.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard. Like, I'm such a huge fan of the '89 Batman. I think Michael Keaton nails Bruce Wayne. If people want to complain about the suit and stuff like that from Batman and him as actual Batman, fine. But I thought Michael Keaton as Batman was terrific, and I also thought Ben Affleck was terrific as
Oh,
Bruce
yeah.
Wayne.
I think I like Affleck as Bruce the best out of all of them.
Man,
Personally, I think he actually portrayed that playboy that we're so used to the best.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Batfleck was hands down the best choice for Batman. He just, man, that dude got dealt a bad hand.
Yeah. It's true.
He still
Well,
hasn't got
unfortunate.
those
chance.
two movies fucking sucked. They
They
sucked.
did. They were
They
terrible.
were fucking terrible. Justice League is the hardest movie I've ever forced myself to watch.
Oh my
It
god,
is, like,
right?
I won't say it's the worst movie I've ever watched. It's just the hardest one because it's also 3-something fucking hours, and it's like I don't understand, guys. Like, they could have done so much. There's so much they can do with the Justice League. There is so much, and they just shit on it. They shit on it, and then they fucking retread it and shit on it again.
Yeah.
I watched them both back to back. I'd never seen them. I did a show with our pal Frenchie.
They keep retreading it to try to get traction, and it's stuck, man. It ain't going nowhere.
So fucking bad. It's bad.
I mean, I liked him
problem is
enough.
they're trying to play
I didn't
catch-up.
hate him, but I think that Snyder just got way too ahead of himself. You know what I mean? Just like he wanted to do way too much too quickly because they wanted to catch up to the MCU. It felt like, and so
Yeah, exactly. They were trying to
if you
get to their
paced it out,
Avengers
you know,
movie.
you do Man of Steel, you do a Batman movie, you do a Man of Steel 2, you build this a little bit better. And I
Right.
feel like it could have been something, but
Take your time, man. It's not
Yeah.
going anywhere.
exactly.
No, we're
exactly.
just
Actually,
trying to
and I
jump
had
in.
high hopes. I had high hopes for Justice League. Like, after Wonder Woman, I had high hopes because Wonder Woman was really good. The first one.
Yeah.
First one was
I
really
think-
good.
1984.
I
People
think
were
if Snyder had been able to actually do Justice League when he was doing it properly, it wouldn't have been 4 hours long. He would have edited it down. The only reason it's 4 hours is because he's like, well, I'm not going to cut anything because I told you guys, here's everything I had. You know what I mean? I think we would have gotten a better movie if all
I
that
don't know.
other stuff would have happened. It might not have been amazing, but I think it would have been better than either of the two that we got.
I think they
I
just
don't know.
burn it with BVS. You're going with your second movie out of the whole franchise. With you're putting Batman versus Superman at your second movie out of the whole franchise. Like, oh, now here's our Batman. Now he's fighting Superman, and here's
Yeah.
Doomsday. Superman's dead now, and we're starting off Justice League, and Superman's dead. Like, what?
He combined way
Yeah.
too much. Like he did
Right.
like it was like Dark Knight Returns mixed with Death of Superman and like way too much going on. I liked it in general, specifically the Ultimate Cut. It flowed a little bit better, but it was just too much, and it was a big missed opportunity.
Between the two of them, between the two characters, there's almost 150 years combined worth of lore they could have drawn from. At that time, there was 70 and 75 or something like that.
Yeah,
They came up with your mother's name is Martha.
Hey,
That's what they came up with. That's how they figured shit out.
yeah. mean, I got the sentiment, but it was
Right, that's what they
poorly
stopped.
executed.
Sort of
Because
trying to get the sentiment,
and
yeah.
Yeah, it just wasn't executed well.
I know what, and none of you are talking about, to me, what the worst part of that movie is. It's just the Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
Not great.
Yeah,
Ooh, what a misstep, in my opinion.
But I'm-
Especially
I mean,
when you hear of other people that were considered for the role and stuff like that too, and they still went with Eisenberg. Whatever. I don't know.
yeah, that too. Like I understood again what he was going for because it wasn't supposed to be the Lex Luthor that's bald that we're used to. It's supposed to be his son, and that's from the comics. But nobody knows that. Like, come on, who
right.
knows? Like, who really
Right.
knows that
It
unless you're
wasn't
hardcore?
explained at all.
Yeah, it's like
He's my favorite part of the movie, Jesse Eisenberg playing Lex Luthor. Like, that guy's having so much fun. Everybody gave him shit. I was
he
like,
is,
"You
man.
go,
I'll say
girl."
that.
That was awesome.
I don't think
That peach tea bit.
The best part.
I don't think him. He was only doing what he was acting.
Yeah.
Wow. But
I think he should have been like the Riddler or something because that's the vibe he was giving off.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was more like the Riddler, So I don't know if that was if that was originally what he was supposed to be. And they changed it. I don't know what the deal was, but
Yeah.
that's
They
definitely what
really
the
don't
vibe
know what they
was.
want to do.
Yeah,
That's the problem with the DCEU in general. Like, they keep reshooting stuff because they don't know where exactly they want to go just yet. Like, I remember when I saw Aquaman, they reshot a lot of the stuff that was in the Justice League movie
Mm.
just so they could tell this story better. And it is better. Aquaman is actually a great DC
Yeah.
movie.
I like Aquaman. I
never
like
seen it.
Shazam. So like those side movies, I enjoy quite a bit.
Yeah. It's just the
I-
main plot
I
stuff.
Suicide
enjoyed
Squad.
Shazam. I enjoyed Shazam. I thought it was a very nice kids movie.
It was
You
a
know,
great
which is
Power
fine,
Rangers
which is
movie.
fine.
You're absolutely right.
But it had some great horror elements, which I liked. Because David F. Sandberg did some great stuff with the Seven Deadly Sins. I thought.
Yeah.
I like
Growing up, I was a huge Shazam fan. Like we
Hmm.
had Shazam cartoons and stuff like that when I was a kid. Migos, like I had the Shazam Migo. I had,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, there was all kinds of Shazam shit. Like in the late '70s, Shazam was a big deal. So I was another movie I was really looking forward to, and I enjoy all the bits with Shazam. The stuff with just Billy and stuff like that. Yeah, whatever, not so much. But
I'm not
I
even
didn't.
gonna lie.
I did enjoy it. At the end of the movie or whatever, I really did enjoy. I enjoyed when they had all those Shazams. It is a lot like the comics and like the cartoon was and stuff like that. So I enjoyed. There's a lot. I enjoyed it a lot more in parts than parts that I didn't like. So overall, I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there too. I'd give it a passing grade, but not a perfect movie, for sure.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And I really do like that morph sequence at the end where everybody gets Power Rangers. Ah, man, it's great. They're all
Yeah.
color coded too. It's like the Mystic Force
yeah.
Rangers. It's
And
cool.
it's just like the cartoons was, guys. It's like that is the cartoon right there. It's like finally, it's like yes, I get this. I understand this. Yeah. I
At
was
least
looking
you
forward to
knew who Shazam was, or I guess Captain Marvel, because I'm not gonna lie, that was my first introduction to that guy. Was playing Mortal Kombat versus DCU.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, and they put him in there as Captain Marvel. Like, he says Shazam, but that's just how he activates his powers.
That's how he gets his powers. Yeah. So growing up, again, it was always known as Captain Marvel in the comics,
Right.
but he was Shazam on TV.
Oh,
That's all. Yeah, that's all. That no one ever really called him Captain Marvel. It was just
did
Shazam.
not know that.
Well, that's all I ever paid attention to, anyways. Is he would say Shazam. The show was called Shazam. It wasn't called Captain Marvel. So
Okay.
here's your history lesson with good old Snark, guys.
What did everyone think of the first Wonder Woman movie?
Loved it.
The first one's fantastic.
Good.
First one's a really good movie. I
Yeah.
think Aquaman is better than Wonder Woman, but I still think it's a good movie. It's not Man of Steel.
I haven't seen Aquaman. I just ran into a thing where I was like, God damn it, do I actually ever want to see Aquaman? It's like,
My hands down favorite thing about Aquaman is that James Wan directed the movie.
Yeah,
Like,
so
a
he
huge
did such a
horror
good
fan.
job.
And that guy does a phenomenal job with
That stuff with the trench
shadows.
is
Yeah,
is
exactly.
so good.
Sleep in the theater.
That guy knows how to shoot a scene. I'm just saying.
Hmm
Boy.
That's why I was bummed when they shelved that trench movie that they were doing, which apparently was gonna wind up being a Black Manta movie.
Oh,
Yeah. And
Alright.
after it got shelved, he revealed that it was actually a secret Black Manta movie. And I'm like, come on. That's what you should have said in the first place. People would have been rallying behind that to get
for
that
sure.
rolling. Black Manta going down into the trench and stuff. Come on. I'd have been all for that.
It'd have been sick. But I mean, again, they don't know what they want to accomplish. The MCU doesn't know exactly what they want to accomplish either. They're just better at hiding it.
I hope now that Warner Brothers is owned by Discovery, because they're apparently going to be revamping everything, and so I'm hoping that they can get on some sort of path.
Is that Amazon? Isn't Amazon having something to do with that as well?
I don't know if Amazon does, but I know it's Discovery. Discovery bought it, so that's the mergers. Warner Brothers Discovery. So,
speaking of DC movies, what did everybody think about Teen Titans Go to the Movies?
Never seen.
I love that.
Check it out.
Dude,
I
love it. It's so good.
Awesome.
Like, I'm a fan of the show, but that movie was fantastic.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
And it's so good. And you get Nicolas Cage as Superman. Come on.
Yeah.
He finally does his Superman.
It's so good. If you haven't seen it, please check it out.
I liked the comics when I was a kid. This is even before like things like Raven and stuff like that were in the Teen Titans. I really enjoyed Titans, the show. As far as comic book shows go, it's a lot of people give a shit, and I think they throw swear words around unnecessarily because they all have potty mouths, unlike me. But I enjoy Titans. So I just don't know if I can get over watching a cartoon again for an hour and a half. But I've been wrong before. I've been wrong before because I really enjoyed Into the Spider-Verse. So yeah, and then the animations are different and stuff like that, and you trust guys like Lord Miller. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever actually pull the trigger on it, but I'm glad that people enjoy the Teen Titans because, again, as a kid, I really like the comics.
People really love to shit on Teen Titans Go for some reason. I just think the show's funny, and they're good at laughing at themselves and at the people who hate them. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they literally did an episode where they made fun of that. What was it, Thundercats Roar cartoon came out because how much shittier it is than the original Thundercats, and so they were essentially making fun of themselves because of how people always say that they're shittier than the original Teen Titans animated series. And
there was another one. How many Teen
Titans
the original
have there been? The original Teen Titans, and then Teen Titans
Thundercats
Go.
War was supposed to be like the Teen Titans Go version of Thundercats, the anime from the 80s or whatever. Didn't really ever see it. Again, I was more of a Power Rangers kid, but that's neither here nor there.
It looks terrible.
Guys, nostalgia is a tricky thing. Thundercats, the original series, not great. Like, it was fun when you were a kid, but now
I wanted to like Roar. I really did, but ultimately not for me. I love Teen Titans Go though, man. I'll throw that stuff on as like background noise. That or like Adventure Time,
I'll put it to a list. I'll try and watch that movie. Like, again, and I like all the characters. I actually love most of the characters from Teen Titans. I really do. It's just the whole thing that it was a cartoon that kept me from watching it. So maybe I'll give it a chance. I'll give it a chance.
Know.
If you want to watch some,
now is it Robin? Is it Robin or is it Nightwing?
It's Robin. Yeah,
it's Robin. Okay. And sometimes it's Nightwing.
If you want to watch some great Teen Titans Go, get the Night Begins to Shine saga.
Night Begins to Shine.
So good. If you like 80s metal, check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. The movie's got some music too. I love the upbeat, inspirational song about life. It's on my workout playlist.
Yeah, there's one
Oh,
movie
so
I
good.
want to bring up. And this is my favorite comic book movie. Me personally, I consider it a perfect movie. Great acting, great character study, great story, and that is the movie came out in 2017, Logan. What does everyone think about Logan?
It's really good.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It's a great movie.
Yeah, as I don't really consider it a comic book movie as much as maybe even I consider more of a western stuff. It's just with familiar characters. Um,
I get that.
Again, I have you know, I don't understand why they pushed to have the Logan. Spoiler alert, guys. I don't know why they pushed to have Logan get killed off or whatever. Just for the next version. Just have to explain stuff away and stuff. All that kind of thing makes no sense to me. But it was enjoyable. Stephen Merchant was fucking fantastic in that movie.
Yeah, he is.
And it was great seeing Patrick Stewart again as Xavier. Maybe not for the last time, supposedly. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. They've already said he's in Doctor Strange. Like he already confirmed
But
it.
they
so.
said he's in Doctor Strange. They didn't say it was Professor X. Though.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Again, a movie I really enjoyed, and again, I saw it in the theater. I haven't seen it again. I don't feel there's a huge driving thing. I really loved the kid. I'm trying to think of the
Can't remember.
right.
Yeah.
I can't remember her character's name though.
X-23.
Oh,
X-23. I'm
Laura?
excited.
That's what he calls her?
I'm excited about that. Like if they would ever do something with that, I'd be very happy. But this is again
That'd be
in the
awesome.
future, right? That
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
20-something years.
The not too distant
Well,
future.
we got the multiverse coming. Like things
That's
could
the
happen.
thing.
You never know.
Okay.
You never know.
I agree with you. Logan doesn't really feel like a comic book movie. Like it's based on a comic book, but you're right. It's absolutely a western. I only ever watched the noir version of that movie.
Oh, nice.
That's so good.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot they even did that as a black and white one.
Yeah,
And I know that the
refuse to watch it
original
any other way.
comic had the Hulk in it.
Yes.
And I know
that
for
the
reasons.
storyline with the Hulk is so messed up. It's
Yeah.
insane how messed up it is.
It gets complicated.
Incestuous Hulk babies. That's all I gotta say.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
I had to think that one through.
One movie we haven't talked about, guys. That's sort of it's not MCU adjacent, but it was actually produced by a company that's owned by Marvel. I can't remember what year it came out, but it is one of my all-time favorite comic book movies. It was actually I was at a comic book store and I was looking for something and the owner said to me, "This is about 2006 or something like that, 2007. I can't remember." He handed me like I'm looking for something. He's like, "If you're looking to start something, start with this. It just came out, and this is a comic book called Kick-Ass."
Oh yeah.
And that movie fucking came through. The first one, that
Yes.
first Kick-Ass movie is as good a comic book movie as I have ever seen. And I would say I would put that one. Oh God, like I chose 5 movies just to think of them in my head. The first one being number 1, Superman the movie is the best comic book movie of all time, and I'll never change my mind about it. Number 2 would be Batman '89. Number 3 would be Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Is just so good. But number 4 is Kick-Ass because it fucking kicks ass, guys. Did you guys pay attention to Kick-Ass even when it came out? Was that a thing for you guys? Like, I don't know. I don't know how much
I didn't
money
know
it ever
anything
made.
about it. I didn't read the comics or anything before, but like when it came out, that was my kind of thing. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in for this.
Yeah.
And it definitely delivered. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Scott Pilgrim thing all over again. Like you watch it one time and you're like, "What? No, how come nobody told me about this?"
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't talk about it without bringing up the Cage Man himself, Nicolas Cage, as Big Daddy.
Hell yeah.
Maybe my favorite Nick Cage part ever. I just
Nice.
love it so much. It's just
It's up there.
dynamite. Fucking so good. He's so good.
Girl.
Well, his chemistry with Chloe Grace Moretz is just spot on.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. Hit Girl is one of my all-time favorite comic book characters in movies. From that one, that second movie, they fucked it up so bad. They did a huge disservice. It
That
was,
was pretty.
yeah,
I think
whatever.
they waited too long. That was a big problem.
Maybe.
You know what
You're
I mean? Because like there were the two graphic novels plus the Hit Girl graphic novel, and she was like she didn't age very much in those things, but like they waited so long. She was significantly older. The novelty had kind of worn off a little bit, and I think that was a big problem for it. If they had done them a lot quicker, I think it might
It
have
was
worked.
like they were also almost hinting at a romantic relationship between Hit Girl and Kick Ass. Like, no, guys,
Yeah.
no. This is not cool. This is fucking uncool what you're doing right now. 100%. But that first movie, perfect. It's a perfect comic book movie, I think.
Yeah.
Here's something interesting about that first Kick-Ass movie. That first Kick-Ass movie has both Quicksilver in it.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Lieutenant Johnson and Evan Peters.
I always loved thinking about that. Yeah, both Quicksilvers. Yeah, absolutely.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. Which Quicksilver do you like the best?
Oh, I would say the X-Men Quicksilver.
Yeah,
Evan
Yeah.
Peters, is that-
it's kind of hard
Yeah,
to
yeah.
just because the MCU one didn't really get that much screen time or like credit
Yeah.
to really do much.
It wasn't particularly
The X-Men
interesting.
one, right?
Yeah.
The X-Men one, you got all those cool like slow mo scenes, and the other one, it was just kind of like, here's Quicksilver, we're just putting him in here, and he's gonna get killed. Like,
Both of them make me mad.
good, but
Both
Right.
of them make me mad because neither one acknowledged that that they're Magneto's
Sure.
children.
origin.
So they both make me like that much upset. But it's fun. Like, is there anybody more fun in the X-Men universe than Quicksilver? At least in these last three or four movies.
I mean,
that
they
they've-
kind of tease it in the X-Men movies a little bit, but they don't right out say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would argue I really love Alan Cummings as Nightcrawler.
Oh, dude.
Of course.
Yes.
Probably
That
my
like
ultimate
scene
favorite.
in the
One of
that
my
scene in the White House where he's
So good.
bamfing around all over the
Bamfing.
place. Ah,
It's so
They-
cool.
incredible.
They made that perfect. That was a perfect Nightcrawler scene.
Opening.
Oh, yeah.
Best.
Yeah.
One of the best openings.
And that dude's just insanely talented. I love watching that guy do stuff.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, is he part of that X-Men universe?
Mhm.
I mean, technically, it is an X-Men movie.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Colossus and what's her name?
Negasonic.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead are both in the Deadpool movie. So yeah.
What is it? Is it the second one where he opens
and
the
he's at
door
the X-Men. He's
and
at the
all the
X-Men.
X-Men are
Yeah,
in there? Right?
Yeah. It's so funny.
Yeah, he is
Yeah.
100%. I don't know if they'll ever say he's an X-Man. But,
No, I don't think so.
But they also put X Factor. They put X Factor in the second Deadpool movie. So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, it was only for 15 minutes, at best.
But it was a cool 15 minutes.
It was a very cool 15 minutes.
He's an X-Men in training.
Yes. Yeah.
I love Deadpool.
Yeah, those movies are fun.
I can't wait to see.
I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with him. I can't wait to. If they're still allowing everybody to write it, like they're not taking that away. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be Deadpool. But what are they? It's gonna be different for sure. But I am very excited to see what they can do with Deadpool. I'm just excited that we get Deadpool.
Hey, right? Do those movies forever.
And he's like the one guy who could bounce around really and make sense because he can break the fourth wall and everything and just kind of make fun of it all. So.
And Ryan Reynolds, to be fair, doesn't even have to be there. If they want, they never have to show his face. They can just have a guy dressed up as Deadpool, and he can do the voice from home.
Yeah.
He never has to be there.
Yeah.
It's a huge advantage. It's a huge advantage to do this.
Yeah, they got nothing to lose.
And, and there's going to be bad words said. There will be bad words said in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Either that, or they will bleep it, and he will acknowledge that they bleeped it, and it will be awesome.
Yeah, it'll break the fourth wall for it. There's going to be something that makes it happen.
Probably. That is the thing, right? Like, he can work around most things because he does have that freedom to be like, oh, this happened. That's inconsistency, or so forth.
The only comic book character that understands that he's a comic book character. And he has a huge advantage. That's why he doesn't mind killing everybody, because he knows they're not real, at least in his head.
Yeah.
Deadpool's a fantastic fucking comic book character. And
great.
the first, both movies are really good. That first movie was, unbelievably good. It was so fucking good.
Can't touch it.
No, man, that's what you mean. I'm animated.
Yeah.
See, I think you're right, Snark. The making a third Deadpool movie, you're kind of tempting the fates with people not really liking it all that much. That's what I was gonna say happened to Stranger Things when we were talking about it. Like, I'm surprised there are fans after that third season.
I love it.
Usually around this time, people start to turn.
I really liked what happened.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, and to know that they're doing two more. They're doing this one, and then there's another one coming out, I believe, next year.
Yes.
And they're wrapping it up, and that's it'll be 40 or 50 episodes you get of some of the best sci-fi.
I'm really intrigued by this season because it's like 9 double-length episodes, split into 2 parts, and then also a 5th season. And I'm just like, this is gonna be some wild stuff, man. It's like a series of movies, and who knows what's gonna happen.
It sounds like they're changing it up. I'm down.
I don't know if they're doing it so that they've aged, so that the kids have aged, because nobody looks like they're 13 anymore.
No, they don't.
Like, they're not doing it. They aren't doing it like they did Harry Potter, where they did a movie every year. They've waited, so it's got to be like 11 moved away or whatever at the end of season 3. So it's got to be her coming back for some reason after a long time. So we'll get to see what happened with all the kids or whatever in between times, hopefully. But yeah, I have no idea what's happening other than we see hints of Russia and stuff like that. But yes, I'm trying not to watch too many trailers and stuff like that for it. I want every bit of it to be a surprise for me, because I'm trying to soak it all in, because I enjoy this show so fucking much. And if I can
I'm
get
like
away
the
with
opposite.
it,
I watch it all.
Yeah.
It's like, give me every trailer you got.
Breakdowns, like me Rockstar, just everything.
I sat down and just binged like all the little trailers that they had on you. I was like, let's get them all. Yeah.
Well, before we wrap up, there's one more comic book movie coming out this summer. I want to talk about the trailer for.
All right.
Thor, Love and Thunder. Did all of you
Yes.
see that trailer?
yeah,
I loved the trailer. I was a big fan of Thor Ragnarok, and I know not everybody was, but I love the feel of it.
that is not a universal decision.
No, yeah. I mean, hey, I already said that I liked Thor 2 better than Thor 1, so I'm just saying I'm already on the outskirts.
That is more believable. That is more despicable.
It's true. But I liked what they did with this. Like, they gave a lot of interesting stuff. We got the Asgardians of the Galaxy, as I like to call them.
Sure. Yes.
And I'm interested because like we haven't seen Gore yet, which I think is Christian Bale's character, Gore the God Butcher.
Mhm.
They haven't showed him yet, and we don't really know what he's going to be doing in this movie because like the trailer starts off like he puts Stormbreaker in the ground, like plants it, but we don't know, does he leave it there, because we see him later on with it in the trailer.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder if he leaves it there for an extended period of time and Gore takes it, and then that's where he goes and starts killing gods, and he eventually gets back. I don't know, it's all speculation at this point.
I was gonna say, is it too late to do a Beta Ray Bill
I don't think so.
introduction?
I think he's in it.
The one thing that's in my head is there better be Bill. Bill better be in
There's
this
a
thing.
scene
Three
that somebody screen capped that looks like there's a figure that should be there, like there's a space, just like what happened with Spider-Man No Way Home, where there was like gaps, you know, and there's like a gap there. So they digitally removed somebody. I think it might be Beta Ray Bill. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Korg and like Thor like looking up, and you can see that there should be like, it looks like a third
with the Guardians of the with the Guardians there, like it makes sense because he grabs is it Mjolnir or whatever? Is that what he originally grabbed or whatever? And then he won Mjolnir, and then they made Stormbreaker for Beta Ray Bill. Is that comic book correct?
Oh, that I'm not sure.
Yeah, from my understanding,
he saved this these people in a rocket or whatever from an invading force or whatever, basically by himself. And when Thor showed up or whatever, he dropped the hammer and or Thor fell or something like that. He grabbed the hammer and beat the shit out of these aliens. So that's how he got the power of Asgard, and so I'm pretty sure that he had Mjolnir, he wielded Mjolnir, and then they made he got the power of Thor. So I think he was given Stormbreaker as like you have the power, sure, you've earned it, but you can't have Mjolnir. But they've destroyed Mjolnir in the movie, so who knows? Who knows how they're gonna do Beta Ray Bill? But I fucking hope they have Beta Ray Bill in this movie. And I would be a huge fan if they don't want to do any more Thor movies, great. But they better replace it with Beta Ray Bill, because Beta Ray Bill is fucking awesome. I like it better than Thor.
Well, I mean, I think we already know who he's being replaced with. If we listen, when you look at the end of the trailer.
If you're looking at the trailer.
You guys know about that story, though, right? You guys know what's happening with her? Yeah, it is fucking heartbreaking what's happening with her. So, yes, I hope they don't explain that in this movie. I hope they explain it in a further movie and stuff like that. Like it's not Jane Foster's movie.
Yeah.
But I think they 100% should do Jane Foster's movie, because that story is fucking heartbreaking for what she has to do and go through. Not great.
I'm interested. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm interested in how she gets the hammer, because I'm pretty sure I read somewhere where like Marvel.com had confirmed that it was the original Mjolnir that Hela destroyed, and it somehow pieces itself back together. But they don't tell us how yet.
Oh yeah.
And that's one of the things I'm most interested in. And like, how the hell does this happen?
Because in like the description of like the movie, it's something like Thor is like confused how like it even comes back together as some like weird magic or something.
Yeah.
It like doesn't even make total sense. So
it's
it's magic.
You don't think it's going to be multiversy? You don't think there's anything to do with that?
It's very possible.
We're going to find out, because
Doctor
Strange is coming out in a couple weeks here, guys. So
that's true.
So yeah, they'll have a few months, or like a couple months, and then Thor after that in August, I believe. Is that right? Or is it July?
July. It's July.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
I have the most important question about this for you guys.
Oh boy, here we go.
He plants Stormbreaker in the ground.
Yep.
If he left it there long enough, would a Groot grow from that? Since it is his arm.
100%.
There we go. That's what I want to see. I want to see a Groot with Stormbreaker as his own arm, just like that's.
I like it.
Oh,
I am Groot.
awesome. I am Groot. I am Groot.
He's just slashing people down. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Baby Groot, probably my wife's favorite comic book character of all time.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Thor movies just lean way too heavily into the comedy for me. Like it gets progressively worse from each movie. I think that's why The Dark World is the best one.
Boy.
Fair.
And he
Well,
was like,
yeah.
the thing is too, and like from what I know of, like in the comic, he's not like a funny dude in the comics or anything.
Right. It's supposed to be super serious, but now he's the like obnoxious humor Yellow Ranger. I'm not down
Yeah.
with
I think
It's like
he is the straight man. I think he is unintentionally funny in the comic books.
that. Right.
Yeah.
His comedy
Because
comes from
because
being
he's
like
so
out
serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And funny things happen because of him.
because yeah, he uses words like "hear ye" and "shout" and so forth. Like
Mhm.
that's how he should talk. Like the first Avengers movie, that was a great depiction of Thor.
Yeah. Plus he's a
Yeah.
drunk.
It's true. Another.
Another right.
Yeah.
I'm my favorite part in that Chris Thor movie. Another.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, great. Well, thank you all for coming. Thank you guys for coming on tonight.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Last,
time.
go around the panel. Say where everybody can find you. Just don't do help the cross right here to my left.
You can find me on Twitter at movieblog Merc. That is the Twitter page for my site, Merc with a Movie Blog. I also run a page called Last Call at McLaren's. It's a How I Met Your Mother podcast. You can find me at Last Call HIMYM on Twitter there, as well as I run DC Comics News. So check me out at DC Comics News on all the social medias there.
I have questions about How I Met Your Mother.
All right.
And especially the sequel series, which I consider the worst thing I've ever watched in any medium ever. But
That's
that's
sad
just
to
me.
hear.
With things like Joey and that '80s show, I find that hard to believe.
It's fucking terrible. It's terrible. It is
Yeah,
uncool.
where can everyone find you?
Oh, you can find me bitching about shows like How I Met Your Father every Tuesday on a show we have right here on the Northern Entertainment Group. Well, not here anymore. We're on a different network.
Yeah.
We have a network called Northern Entertainment Group that our friend Ben still produces some shows with, but not this one. And I have a show called Have You Seen This? It's with my buddy Daniel. Talk about what's happening in television. We talk specific shows we're watching, shows we're excited about seeing. We might go back and talk about shows that we have seen. We have talked about How I Met Your Father because Daniel's favorite show ever is How I Met Your Mother. Well, favorite show besides Buffy, which is, come on, Buffy's the best show that ever was made. But yeah, come on. How I Met Your Father. How could they do that? Unbelievable. But that's where you can find me. You can find me like, oh, guys, if you really want a great Twitter follow, you can follow me at @SnarkYeti, where I probably will never really do it very much. But that's it.
Andy, my man, where can everyone find you?
Yo, anybody can find me on YouTube at alejandro.h.official. I do music over there. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, you can keep up with whatever I'm doing on stage on my Facebook page, The Alejandro Hernandez. On Twitter, you can find me at The AH Official. Right now, anybody in the West Texas area can catch me doing Melodrama in the Park in Wolford, Texas for Treasure of the Shiver River. It's going to be a fun time.
And Chris, my man, my friend, where can everyone find you?
Just check me out on Twitter at the Chris Hall, or sometimes on the Gucciverse at the Gucciverse channel on YouTube. We're trying to do some things, maybe coming back soon. Who knows what's going on with them? But see me around at the Chris Hall on Twitter.
Well, thank you, everyone. Everyone can find me at MikePhillip_Radio. Every Sunday night, right here on Unwind with Ben. Every Monday on Deep Dive. every Tuesday night on Jedi Academy. Over on the Northern Entertainment Group every Thursday on Rewind that Tape with my friend Soda, and every Saturday or Sunday, depending on the week, on Northern Countdown. And until next week, my name is Ben. We'll see you then, and have a good week, and relax, everyone. It's a fun time out there. Bye.